Welcome to the chapter 262 leaks. Before I even get into these leaks, I do want to tell you guys that Akatami has fallen ill, and so Jujutsu Kaisen will be on another 2-week break. Now, at this point, I highly recommend everybody to reread the entire arc once it's done, because I know people are getting exhausted and they're going to be tired of the breaks, but we know how the manga industry is. We know how manga authors are treated, so let's give Gege his graces and allow him to recover. Him falling ill is also why this chapter is 7 pages, so the leaks video will be very quick this week. I do think that Gege Akatami just shortened what was going to happen in this chapter by a lot, because the ending is quite sad. With that said, let's get into it. So the chapter begins with Sukuna and Yutaro, which is the Yuta Gojo fusion. That's what Miyamura is going to call him. And Yuta manages to reduce the size of his domain expansion to the size of the basketball like Gojo did in chapter 227, I believe. A couple of things of note here are that Yuji and Toto are present, but the battle's going on inside of the domain for the entire chapter, so they've been separated from Gojo and Sukuna. And as this battle continues, the narrator says that the solution Gojo created for Sukuna's open barrier domain is to make a small barrier domain which can withstand the effects of Malevolent Shrine for approximately 3 minutes. Now, take my interpretation of this as, unreliable and with a grain of salt, but this may be telling me that you can beat somebody in a domain clash through making your domain outlast theirs in terms of like a stamina endurance kind of thing. Again, take this with a grain of salt, guys. I always say take my spoiler videos with a grain of salt, because Miyamura is only a medium and a translator who gets his information from another translator. So I don't know if this is what exactly is going on in the chapter. Another thing I do want to mention is the fact that Malevolent Shrine can be activated for 3 minutes now, when last time Sukuna could barely use it for about 99 seconds, is kind of telling. I don't know if this means that Sukuna's recovering his arms or his output or whatever, but I do think that's something you guys should keep note of. I do think Sukuna has a chance of getting away. Now, I know people hate that possibility because we've been fighting him for 50 chapters, but if he gets away, I'm gonna die laughing. I'm gonna laugh regardless. Let's continue. So Yuta says that taking Sukuna's fatigue into consideration, it's possible for me to withstand his domain for 3 minutes, just like Gojo. And the narrator then says Sukuna has reduced his effective curse technique range in order to surround Yuta's barrier, and thus he eliminated Malevolent Shrine's 99-second time limit. Okay, so apparently the 99-second binding vow was connected to Sukuna's massive range when he used his domain expansion all over Shinjuku. You guys were asking for the reveal of the binding vows and what the specifics were. There you go. Sukuna massively increased his domain's range, but he brought it down to 99 seconds. Now, without the binding vow and the conditions and whatever, it goes for 3 minutes. There you go. And this is why y'all gotta let the author cook, man. He can't reveal everything to you guys in one chapter. Gege Akatami does reveal stuff. He never fails to not reveal stuff. And like I said, he even reveals the most miscellaneous, tiny nonsense details. So things like this are going to be covered. Just give the author time. And I got this wrong, but a lot of my commenters responded to my short I made about this with this guest. So W, guys, I'll take the L on it, because it's revealed that before the fight, Yuta swapped souls with Gojo in order to train and improve his barrier techniques. I thought it was Hakari that Yuta swapped with because he was able to change his coordinates, and Sukuna said that he had a very specific high level barrier usage in chapter 250, I believe, but you guys called it. I do think that you can theorize Gojo trained Hakari to be able to play with his domain the way he does, if you really think about it, because Gojo didn't have the chance to train Yuta since Yuta was in Africa right after the events of JJK0, whereas Hakari never really went on a time skip or anything like that, and it was revealed that he trained with Gojo. However, that reveal could be linked to the time skip, but I'm pretty sure he trained with Gojo when he was first a student. He was the first of Gojo's heavy hitters. I'm sure Gojo was very happy to meet Hakari. I'm sure he trained with him and learned all his tricks from Gojo. As the battle continues, Yuta says that in under 3 minutes, I'll damage Sukuna enough to where he cannot maintain his barrier anymore. And Sukuna's like, I'm gonna destroy the infinite void and expand my domain to kill everybody. So basically, this battle has to be decided within the next 3 minutes. It'll probably last 1 chapter after this. I do think this is all just for Yuji to come in and finish Sukuna off while he's like at 0% curse energy, strength, whatever, and just walk over Sukuna's body. Really hoping something like that happens, but we'll have to see. And with these conditions placed on this specific fight, I do want to remind you guys of how well it's written, because it's like every single little thing that each character that plays their role in this fight does, every little thing just keeps them on the precipice of getting instantly eliminated. It feels so dire, dangerous, like the stakes are truly high. Like if one character did not distract Sukuna for 1 chapter here, or landed this attack in that chapter over there, Sukuna probably would have killed everybody by now. I really think Gege does a good job at reminding the viewer that these characters cannot mess up even 1 time, or it's over. So they begin to fight, and Yuta tries to pull Sukuna using blue, but Sukuna reduces the distance between him and Yuta. So I'm unsure if this is showing that Sukuna was speed blitzing Yuta here, or if he used blue to accelerate himself towards Yuta. Whatever's going on here, I think it's supposed to show that like Yuta is not Gojo and he's gonna have a hard time using his techniques. Anyways, Sukuna also like catches Gojo's punch with his arm that's been cut, just showing that like he's a beast in hand to hand, and lands a punch in his face. Yuta wonders how Sukuna managed to land that attack on him, but he realizes that alongside domain expansion, Sukuna simultaneously used domain amplification in order to punch through Gojo's infinity, which allowed him to punch through Gojo's infinity. I don't know why he kind of said that in 2 different ways. But I do think this is showing that Sukuna is just speed blitzing or whatever. It's hard to tell through the translations, guys, but I do suggest reading the full chapter because Yuta may not be as powerful as we thought he was going to be in Gojo's body. Now, Sukuna, on the other hand, is very excited because he's like, these guys cannot see what's going on in here since the domain expansion blocks out Mei's crows. So he's probably going to end up doing something that, like, he comes out with his curse technique or his curse energy replenished or RCT back, and our cast is not even gonna know, and they're gonna be blindsided by it. I do think that's how this is gonna go, and how Sukuna will take advantage of the fact that he's gonna decimate Yuta inside of the domain. And this is very important because every single fight in Jujutsu Kaisen has been decided by a sneak attack or something that caught the opponent off guard, something they didn't see, they could not predict. These are the kind of strategies that will always win a fight in a series. You don't just simply overpower anybody in Jujutsu Kaisen. It's always catching an opponent off guard with either luck, underhanded tactics, sneak attacks, things like that. So if Sukuna taking advantage of this, it'll probably end up screwing everybody over. And then the chapter just ends with a fully manifested Rika crying and grieving as she holds Yuta's dead body. Now, Yuta hasn't died yet in Gojo's body, but like, his original body is dead. That's why she's crying. With that said, I'm gonna let you guys go. Chapter was quick. I know not much is in there because again, Gege's sick and there was only 7 pages. However, I'll catch you guys in 2 weeks. And we have 2 weeks of break, so feel free to suggest anything you want me to analyze, any characters, any, videos you want me to make. I'll make them. I got time now, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, with that said, thank you guys for always watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.